JBN, we keep you informed. Portland man charged for rape. Detectives attached to the Portland Division arrested and charged a man with rape and illegal possession of firearm and ammunition following an incident in Norwich District in the parish on Friday, July 10. Charged is 30-year-old Davian Bryan, laborer of Norwich District. Reports are that about 3 a.m., Bryan, who was armed with a firearm, held up a woman who was walking along the roadway and raped her. The matter was reported to the police and an investigation was launched, which led to Bryan's arrest and a charge. His court date is being finalized. Police Constable freed of rape charges. Police Constable, 29-year-old Kevon Allen, has been freed of rape charges. The trial, which had commenced on July 13, ended yesterday with a not guilty verdict in the Home Circuit Court. It was alleged that the complainant, then a law student, was raped by the policeman at a courthouse in the corporate area in September 2016. It was further alleged that she was again raped near her house in March 2017 by the same policeman. He was subsequently arrested and charged. At the trial, the policeman's legal team, consisting of attorneys at law Peter Champagne QC and Nico Pagan, argued that between and after the last complaint of rape, the complainant engaged in a consensual sexual relationship with the policeman. The complainant admitted this under cross-examination. Various WhatsApp messages were also presented to the court, showing continuous intimate messages between the two. The trial judge freed Allen. High-ranking JCF and JDF officers given authorization to access real-time interception communications. Parliament on Tuesday night approved an order tabled by National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang to amend the Interception of Communications Act, giving authorization to a cadre of designated high-ranking officers of the Jamaica Defense Force JDF and the Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF to access real-time information in critical situations. The legislation authorizes the interception of communications of a specific person named in a warrant and enables the authorizing officers to request technical information from telecommunications service providers. Access to real-time information becomes essential in the work of these agencies, where preserving the lives of Jamaicans and protecting lives in extreme situations, in particular like kidnapping, are encountered, Chang said. In the current situation, only the minister is entitled to seek immediate real-time information. The normal course of acquisition indicates that you seek a warrant, then proceed to get the information, he added. Under the order, those now authorized to access real-time information are the Chief of Staff at the JDF, Head of the Military Intelligence Unit of the JDF, the Commissioner of Police, the Assistant Commissioner in charge of the Narcotics Unit of the JCF, the Assistant Commissioner in charge of the National Intelligence Bureau of the JCF, and the Director General of the Major Organized Crime and Anti-Corruption Agency. It is imperative that we provide our security forces with all the resources that are available in order for them to effectively carry out their duties. Criminal organizations involved in acts of extreme violence and activities like kidnapping are real threats to society, Chang said. By approving these designates, we are improving the response capabilities of our security forces to effectively intervene in these life and death situations, he noted. Opposition spokesperson on national security, Fitz Jackson, said he had no objections to the order being approved, but warned that information in the wrong hands could have serious implications. This authority is not a light one. It allows the state to intrude into private conversations, business conversations, conversations of all types, and as you know, Mr. Speaker, information in the wrong hands can be very dangerous, he said. Cop collared by Mocha after allegedly stealing pigs and liquor. Constable Howard Hewitt of the St. Catherine South Division was offered bail in the sum of $200,000 when he appeared in the St. Catherine Parish Court on Tuesday, July 7. After receiving a ruling from the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, Hewitt was charged on Monday, July 6, by the Major Organized Crime and Anti-Corruption Agency MOCA with 2 counts of robbery with aggravation. Reports are that on Sunday, August 21, 2016, the accused was working at a charity event which was being hosted by the complainant. However, the event ended prematurely due to the fact that the host could not produce a permit to the police upon their request. It is further alleged that Hewitt and several other people began to brandish guns and robbed the bar of liquor and money totaling $75,000. Mocha said on Tuesday, August 23, 2016, Constable Hewitt, along with a group, went to the farm of the complainant, again brandishing guns, and robbed the complainant of 6 pigs valued at $145,000. Tufton points doctors to CARICOM. The more than 100 doctors currently unable to secure jobs in the public health sector have been urged by Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton to explore private practice domestically or seek employment at other hospitals across the Caribbean. The minister said these options, as well as several other issues, were discussed during a meeting with representatives from the Jamaica Medical Doctors Association, JMDA, the University Hospital of the West Indies, and the regional authorities. There is the option of CARICOM. It is a regional institution, and there are shortages in other islands. To the extent that free movement is a problem, we could always intervene, he said on Tuesday. It has been revealed that scores of doctors were unable to secure jobs in the public sector, while the contracts of some had been terminated after they were successfully recruited. Tufton subsequently stated that UWI in particular had hired twice the numbers that are allowed in the establishment. The Health Ministry described Tuesday's meeting as good, as efforts were made to clarify the hiring policy. As it relates to the immediacy of what is happening now, what I've committed to doing is to look at the gaps in the public health system, look at the numbers that are there, and to the extent that we can get the funding to support that, then we will be certainly willing to take more persons on, and I've made that commitment to the doctors, he said. He also cited a bit of inefficiency in areas of the management of the process of recruitment, a matter he has raised with regional health authorities in their processing of interviewees. President of the JMDA, Dr. Elon Thompson, said there were no immediate solutions to the challenges currently being experienced. He said that 103 doctors have been shown to be out of work. The meeting for me was more structured towards trying to work on systems that are in place and to make systems more efficient and to try and make communication more apparent, he said. The university is producing more and more doctors. There has to be communication between the university and the ministry and the regional health authorities, said Thompson. Birthday backlash. McLean under fire in CMU probe. Strenuous attempts by Dr. Grace McLean to justify the spending of more than $400,000 in 2018 to stage a surprise birthday party for Fitzpinnock, the former president of the Caribbean Maritime University, CMU, were rejected on Tuesday by the hard-hitting Public Accounts Committee. McLean, who stated that she was asked by then Education Minister Will Reid to coordinate the party, told members of the committee that Ministry of Finance Circular Number 25 was used as an overarching guide to carry out the directive. However, former Permanent Secretary in the Education Ministry, Dean Roy Bernard, made it clear in an interview on Tuesday that he did not give permission to anyone at the ministry to use public funds to host any party for the then CMU president. I did not give Dr. McLean any such permission, Bernard said plainly, noting that Circular 25 indicates that permission should be given by the head of the entity. The document, according to McLean, indicated that money could be spent on major anniversaries, awards, and awards functions. However, what has been described as a birthday party was not borne out by an invoice on which the Auditor General's Department reported earlier. In her CMU report to Parliament, Monroe Ellis said her department identified a payment amounting to $406,747.57, which was approved by the then Chief Educational Officer at the Education Ministry in respect of a surprise birthday party for the CMU president. McLean was the Chief Education Officer at the time. However, a review of payment vouchers and the supporting documentation by the Auditor General revealed that these payments were for hosting meeting with the Caribbean Maritime University and the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information on August 16, 2018, by way of a memorandum dated August 14, 2018, addressed to the then Chief Education Officer from the project coordinator. Request was sought and obtained for the payment of $277,290 for hotel expenses. The approval was given by McLean on August 15, 2018, and the payment executed on the same day. The matter of celebratory activities is something that has always happened since I joined the ministry in 2009. It's not unusual to have a celebratory activity, but we make sure we observe the expenditure carefully, she explained. However, Peter Bunting, committee member, argued that the circular was irrelevant in relation to the surprise party for Pinnock. I think it is really a stretch to be trying to use that to justify these parties for senior officials. I feel almost uncomfortable for the PS to be put in a position to be trying to defend the indefensible, because this really is, Bunting contended. There's no circular that could support this type of splurging at taxpayers' expense. These parties, yachts and whatever, it is just not provided for in any circular, clearly in breach of government policy and an abuse of taxpayers' funds, he charged. Committee member Michael Phillips asked the permanent secretary to list the category in which Pinnock's party fell. Responding, McLean said, "This speaks to major anniversaries. It also speaks to awards and awards functions. In that case, I think it was his birthday." Guided by the circular, I would not have thought that there would be anything untoward as it relates to what the circular says and the specific activity that was being organized, she added. However, Auditor General Pamela Monroe Ellis made it clear that the ministry circular relates to government employees. My understanding is that there is a guest list for these parties, and it is along that background that the expenditure was questioned, she said. Monroe Ellis pointed out that the limit per staff member was $7,000. If you take that into consideration and applied strictly to one or two of these parties, the payments would not exceed probably $30,000 from the government if you take into consideration government employees for which the circular relates, she added. O. Blake, Deputy Financial Secretary in the Ministry of Finance, also told the committee that the aim of the circular was to address welfare activities for staff, and as such, certain limits were put in place. Further, Bernard said that he did not give any permission for the use of public funds to be spent for an appreciation function held in his honor. The former permanent secretary said that his attendance was only secured after being assured that the money being spent was not government funds. The Auditor General also reported that the CMU staged a birthday party for former Minister Reid. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.